One. Hello and welcome to the Woman's Cave. I remembered to say it.
Y'all, if you are listening to the podcast, I'm gonna need you to switch over and see Winona's horrible dancing.
I had to stop just in case you decided to do that.
No. Do it immediately. Go to like the anti-thought ladies immediately and see her horrible dancing.
No. It wasn't that bad. It was just like someone was hammering in a nail, but they were missing it. That was it.
Wow.
That was all.
That was a vivid word picture.
Oh, I'm a writer after all. That's my job.
Of course it's your job. I'm Jade.
And I'm Winona, and I'm awake, y'all.
I know, right? She's been like hammering away at this book that she's trying to write. She's like, I only have 24 pages to go, Jade. And I'm like, good. That's good. It's good on you. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm at a page and a half, y'all.
It's all right. She's going to get it done, y'all. But you know how we set these ridiculous deadlines and then like always make it by like the skin of our teeth? She's going to do the thing. She's going to do it. I already know.
I love how she said the thing.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna do the thing. She's gonna do the writing thing.
Written other books, though.
Yeah, I mean, we did write literary life guides with pop poetry, right? And sometimes we actually have something wise to say. So, and I thought divorce was bad with other life lessons. And I thought being grown up was easy if only I would meet a memoir in verse. And you know, y'all can check that on Audible or where you get your audiobooks. And I'm gonna just go with, and I thought I did my journey alone. Just in case y'all want to have like a beach read, y'all. I mean, go ahead and do it. It's only like, it's super short, so you won't, not that long.
And then you can check out the rest of our 17 books where?
On www.andithoughtLadies.com. But y'all aren't here to hear about us talk about our books and Winona's horrible dancing. You're here to hear from our wonderful guests.
Wonderful guys, would you like to introduce yourself?
Got that last part.
Well, hey, thank you very much. I'd like to hear about your wonderful books. I mean, I like to learn. I'm a big reader, you know. How many books I've read?
How many?
I've read over 1,000 actual books and all self-help and self-improvement. I'm like a self-improvement junkie. So I like to learn from gals like you. I mean, you guys are a lot smarter than I am in so many ways. I've always got something to learn every day. So
that's true. You know, we all have something to learn.
Gotta be yeah, you can only benefit by reading. So thank you for the great intro. I'm Eli Marcus, and I'm the host of the Motivation Show podcast, where I look to motivate and inspire people by bringing in, like I said, people a lot smarter and more interesting even than I am. So I've brought in everybody from Les Brown to Dennis Waitley, who wrote The Psychology of Winning, to Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I do what you guys do, which is, just get people's energies up. But, and I thought I can handle anybody's energy, but you two, oh my God, you got great energy. So it's a lot to compete with here.
We have something. I don't know about
great something.
Energy. Something.
No, good energy.
All right, so why did you get started in reading self-help? And then why did you stay in the genre? You said you read over 1,000 titles.
Yeah, because I was this dysfunctional kid. I was the shy kid sitting in the back of the class, didn't want the teacher to call on him because his heart would be pumping. And then finally, after all those years, I realized, wait a minute, who's getting the pretty girls? It's not the shy guys in the back of the room saying nothing. It's the guys in front of the class who are like, teacher, call on me. It's always the teacher's pets. They're getting the better grades. They're getting the better girls. They're having more fun, or at least they seem to be having more fun. And I'm like, I want a little bit more of that. So how do I get it? Am I stuck in this body forever, in this shyness forever? And I started reading every self-help book I possibly can get my hand on and realize, something? It's a state of mind at the end of the day. You can change your state of mind by how you think. And then I started reading books like Think and Grow Rich, like, oh, gee, let's see. How do you get rich? Think. Think first. Once you get your thoughts together, everything else sort of comes into alignment. And you can either buy into these things that you were taught when you were younger, where people said you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too big, you're too short, you're too black, you're too white, you're too Chinese, you're too this, you're too that. And there's a million excuses that people give you. At the end of the day, you decide to what you're going to buy into. And your belief system is going to determine everything in your life. If you believe that you can and you will be a millionaire, guess what? You will be. If you believe lack thoughts and you believe you can't do something and you believe you are being left back, guess what? You're going to fulfill that prophecy too.
I like that. I always hear about this, the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
So if you say you're going to have a bad day and then at the end of the day, like, I knew it when I got it, well, kind of like made it. But anyway, I want to go with this fact that, first of all, you were in the back of the classroom. First of all, I can't imagine that.
Right.
And you were the shy person.
Oh yeah, believe it or not, I was probably the person be voted least likely to succeed, least likely to have his own podcast, least likely to go out and set a Guinness World Record for sales, least likely to be on the Jay Leno show, which I'll be on this fall, least likely. I wouldn't even have volunteered or even tried to audition for something like that.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, how did you do this? Why
I need-
did you get a podcast?
We need
Okay.
to talk about also generating sales, because I really feel like authors out there that listen to
Oh
our
my
show
goodness, that's so
is going to
true.
want to know how to actually sell their books.
Well, I'm going to invite you to an event next week, and it's going to be one of the best booksellers in history. And you two are going to be invited on Zoom. So we're going to show you how to sell books.
Wow.
Okay, we're gonna have
Stick around me, kids.
Think about you. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, but what was your mindset when you went into selling, having that Guinness World Record? How did you do it? What was your mindset?
Let me tell you something. The first mindset is to love people. That's the truth. The first mindset is to make it about everybody else, not about yourself. Before, it used to be about me. So I used to worry about who was looking at me, how they would judge me. How would my family legacy be destroyed if I made a fool of myself up in front of the class? And now I realize it's not about me. It's about everybody else. Get out of my own ego, get out of my own way, realize I'm here to serve, realize I'm here for a better cause. I don't want to sound hokey or anything, but you think God's put us down on this earth so that we can stuff our pockets with gold and eat ice cream endlessly? That's not the reason that we're here. That may be nice to do some of those things on the side, but we're here for a purpose, and we're here to uplift and make each other's lives better. That's what we're really here for. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't get that part. They think it's about them. They think they're better than other people. No, we're all equal. We're all out here trying to do the best that we can. And the quicker we realize that the Bible was right, at least in one way, love thy neighbor as thyself, the better off we'll all be.
Wow. I love
Wow.
it.
I
That
like
is
it.
so important
And that
for,
would really transfer into sales, because you would listen to what your people want
Yeah.
to have.
Who do people buy from? People buy from the people that they like, respect, and believe.
Absolutely.
Right? That's the big triplet right there. Buy, like, and you got to get people to resonate with you. And how are you going to get people to resonate you? You got to be genuine. You got to really care for them. You got to make people realize it's more about them than is about your commission. Because when I walk up to a place and I'm looking to buy something, 90% of the time, my feeling, unfortunately, is that it's more about their commission than about what's in my best interest. And, people like you and I can sniff that away. Oh, most people can sniff that from miles away.
Yeah.
Salesperson doesn't think that, but they're not getting over on any of us. We can smell it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
we
so
can.
you talked about the podcasting on it. What was your question?
So now I've changed my question. We
Okay.
answered everything.
He did, right?
This is the problem with having people who have their own
Is
podcast.
it on your podcast?
Because then they're like,
This is
let me
like
just answer all the questions you were going to ask next, and you're stuck with like just two.
Yeah.
So
Did they
anyway,
agree to mine?
now I forgot the question. Okay, what do you talk about on your podcast? What can someone who comes to listen to it expect to hear?
Well, I'll give you an example. I interviewed a gentleman who I consider to be the most fearless human being on the planet. Now, ladies, that's a big statement. The most fearless human being on the planet. There's over 4 billion of us. Why is he the most fearless person on the planet? Well, when was the last time you thought of tightrope walking over the Grand Canyon, over the towers in Chicago, over Times Square, and over that little puddle called Niagara Falls without a safety net? Think about it, right? You got to be pretty fearless, right? So I interviewed the great Nick Wallenda of the Flying Wallenda family. Now, what you can learn about that is how to work with your fear. Now, all of us have fear, whether we realize it, admit it or not. Some of us will never admit any of our flaws. We're all, oh, no, we're perfect. No, I don't drink a lot of alcohol. No, and I only have 14 glasses a day. So some people just never admit their flaws.
Sorry, you got me with that line. I was like, yo,
So, we don't admit our flaws, but a lot of this is lurking in our subconscious. We don't even realize it's there. We all have fear. Now, we're going to let the fear stop us from doing all these things. I was the kid in the back of the school, don't forget, who didn't want the teacher to call on me. So I didn't get anything. I didn't get good grades. I failed one grade. They called it initiative. I didn't even know it was a class. It was what is that? I know math, I know social studies, and I failed this thing called initiative. I had to look it up in the dictionary back then. Remember dictionaries? It wasn't Google. And I'm like, what does that word mean? And I realized that it was correct. I wasn't proactive. I wasn't taking the bull by the horn. I was sitting back waiting for life to happen to me. I wasn't making things happen. You know, there's only two kinds of people in the world: those that let things happen to them and those that make things happen. I don't want to be the person that just let things happen. You got to make things happen in this life. So that's what I do. I try to go out there and make things happen. So by listening to my shows, listening to people talk about fear, how you can take that fear, that ugly 4-letter word that starts with an F, take that fear and turn it into your friend, dance with it, and finally learn how to adapt to it. I had this author with me many years ago. Her name was Susan Jeffers. She wrote the definitive book on fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. What does that mean? Well, you got the fear. It doesn't mean it's going to destroy you. Just feel it, deal with it. You're not necessarily going to get rid of it, but do it anyway, despite the fear. Okay, so your hands are a little clammy and cold. Maybe your heart's racing a little bit. Maybe you think the world's going to collapse. You just do it anyway, because what you're going to find out is you're going to still survive. It's going to be okay. And then it's going to then make you want to do it again. You're going to say, I did it. It's like Tony Robbins does with the fire walk. Once you walk on those coals and you realize that the belief that you had before that you're going to burn your darn feet off and it doesn't actually happen, you're saying, you know something? Damn, I did this. I can do other things that I didn't think were possible.
Wow.
Make sense?
Yes.
This is a good place to stop.
I was like, man, this is a really great interview. Wow. Yeah, that's so
It's
good.
true. I think a lot of people are held back by the fact that they're like, I could fail. And I love the fact that you said that you have to be like, I can't be afraid of, like, I'm gonna look foolish. You know, I have to go
Sometimes
out
you
there
do
and do
look
this.
You know what? You want to know how to sell more, ladies?
Right now.
You look foolish all the time without telling y'all.
You know something? And and that's why you two are have great appeal. You have great appeal to me because, there's the old saying that you have to dance as if nobody's watching. You see, because if you're worried about what people are thinking about you, you're not willing to be your authentic self, nobody's really going to like that phony person. If you just be your authentic self, the people who are meant to like you and be around you are going to like you. Those are not, they're just going to find fault with you no matter who you try to be or what you try to be. So you might as well be yourself. Might as well be that person because everyone else is taken.
So what keys do you have for success for a podcast? Because we do have authors that listen to this as well. And they start podcasts. Do you have any keys for success because you're successful? For the
podcaster themselves? Yeah. Well, first of all, get great guests. That helps. And something, just again, I think you're doing a great job. You've got incredible energy. You're engaging. You let the guest shine and talk and do what they got to do. And just like everything else, it's exposure. What makes anybody successful? Exposure. At one point, nobody knew who Beyonce was. At one point, nobody knew who Lady Gaga was. At one point, nobody knew who Barbara Streisand was. At one point, nobody knew who Gladys Knight was. Everybody's got to get the exposure. And that's it. You guys just got to, and I and everybody else who's out there, we just got to continue to get exposure. So why is a podcaster on your podcast? Because this podcaster wants more exposure. Right? Why am I going on Jay Leno's show? I want more exposure. Why did I write to the New York Times the other day? Because I want more exposure. So that, and why? Because at the end of the day, I'd be robbing the people of my gift because I never realized I had the gift. I never realized I had the ability to inspire people. I thought that was for the Martin Luther Kings and the Joel Osteens of the world. I'm like, who am I to try to be them? But the point is, you got to realize you're not trying to be them. You can't be them. They are who they are. You're never going to be them. You could just be the best person that you are for yourself. And many people need you. Some people resonate more with you. Maybe they did with Martin Luther King or Joel Osteen for whatever reason. Although I can't imagine why, because those are two of my idols. But, at the end of the day, yeah, you'd be surprised. People will resonate with your authentic self and the way you two carry on with positive energy and your authenticity. That will resonate, and you need to just get in front of more people. Otherwise, you're robbing them of the gift of you.
Wow.
I
So
feel like
all the authors out there, y'all, believe in your book and don't rob them of the gift to you. That's amazing.
I love that. I just want to say on our end, I want to be like, so I feel like y'all, if you're like, oh, we might be robbing you of the gift of you, we're just making you have one less trip to the store because you would be refunding our gift.
Not refunding it though. Not refunding it though. Okay, so where can people find your podcast and learn more about you and follow you and listen to all these great things.
Google the 3 magic words, The Motivation Show. I'm on every podcast listening platform you can possibly think of. I even got a book club that I put together called the Self-Help Mastermind Book Club. And you want to talk about fast tracking your success, because most people need to be in some sort of masterminding group. That's what Napoleon Hill talked about in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich. And then you need to have accountability partners around you so that you don't procrastinate and spend half your day on, Facebook posting yourselves in your bikinis while you are on the beach, So, you need to do all, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to hopefully do something else during the day to accelerate your success, because you're here to serve. And so, yeah, people can find me if they want. They can email me. I always give an email challenge, because fortune favors the bold. The people who sit back in the back of the room like I did, never raise their hand or never reach out, never get anything. You never know what you're going to get in that box of chocolates, like they say in Forrest Gump. So email me, themotivationshow@gmail.com, themotivationshow@gmail.com. I answer every one of my emails. All of us are put together for a reason. There's a reason why the 3 of us are on this show right now. This is not coincidence. God doesn't put people together randomly. There's a reason why people are listening to your show. There's a reason why people are hearing me and hearing you right now. And if you don't realize that and you just walk past that reason, you're never going to get the pot of gold that God's been putting in front of us. He said, something, I'm putting these 3 together. And because we have people out there who need these 3 right now. That's what's happening.
I feel real special now.
I know I did, right? I felt really special. Thank you so much for coming on the show and being so inspiring. I mean, seriously. Y'all listen to his podcast.
I might actually finish 22 of those 24 pages.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all was like, I need to do some office work. I need to go ahead and do that right now.
We all need to be inspired. We all need to be motivated on a regular basis. It's like oxygen and food and water. It's not like you just do it once. Some people come to me and say, Eli, you know something? I went to a motivational seminar 3 years ago. It didn't work. I said, did the motivational seminar not work, or you didn't work it? Ooh. Big difference. Mm-hmm. You got to work it. You got to work it every day. Whatever you want in this life, it's not falling into your lap. When was the last time manna from heaven fell into somebody's lap? That was like 8,000 years ago in the Bible. It happened once. And if you're waiting for that manna to fall back in your heaven, you're going to be waiting an awful long time. Life happens to people who get out there and work for it, make the effort, make things happen. Don't let things happen. Make it happen. Because when you let things happen, you've already made a decision. And decisions are even passive decisions. Doing nothing is a decision, and it's not a very good decision. It's better to have failed. It's better to have tried and failed than never to have tried at all. The worst thing in your life is to look back 30 years later and look at the things you never even attempted to try. It's not the things that you failed at that piss you off. It's the things you never tried. So I should have been an actress. Oh, I should have been a ball player. Oh, I should have been this. Those are the things that piss me off, the things that I didn't try because I had too much fear, I was too shy, or I bought into other people's baloney about me. People labeled me this, they labeled me that. They labeled Les Brown, one of the great motivational speakers in the world, educably retarded. If he bought into that nonsense, where would he have been? If Oprah bought into the fact that they told her that she was awful on TV, where would she be? If Michael Jordan would bought into the fact that he couldn't make his junior varsity basketball team, what would have happened to that? Huh? So you can't buy into the garbage that not only your friends are telling you, but you're telling yourself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wow. That is like a great way to end it. I'm just going to end it right there.
Don't buy
into it, y'all. All right. So I can go ahead and wrap us up. You can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwithithoughtladies.com. Oh wow. How many times?
I think about the old website.
Yeah, I was. All right. So
one more time for the people.
Yeah. So www.andwithithoughtladies.com. And at the bottom of the page, you'll see the charities that we probably support. Maybe you can support them also. And we thank you in advance for that. Just remember, y'all wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Will Nona
and Jade. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening.